The International Christian Embassy in Jerusalem is a representation of the global evangelical community towards the State of Israel. We represent Christians from more than 140 nations towards the State of Israel, and we are bringing forth a voice of support and of solidarity with the Jewish people and the nation of Israel, and also we represent Israel towards the global church. I joined in 1999. I always was raised at home. My father was a pastor, and he always raised me with a deep respect and love for the Jewish people. And it really blossomed and developed strong when I visited Israel for the very first time, and during that time I fell in love with the nation of Israel, and I felt a calling for the Jewish people and to stand with Israel.
I was in Israel the first time 1979 when I was not saved, but I already liked it. Somehow I was able to connect with the Jewish people, and I liked it very much. Then I got saved about a year later, and when I got saved, I had some people who were very positively relating to Israel, and of course I found it from the Bible. So for me it came quite naturally, my relationship with Israel.
It's a very good relationship which grew over the last 34 years. In the beginning in 1980, when the Christian Embassy was established, the relationships were still very tense because it was just 3 decades after the Holocaust, and most Israelis, they thought all the Christians, they hate us. So it was a very delicate time, but today after 33 or 34 years of ministry in Israel, there are very close ties with the big key institutions in Israel. We have strategic partnerships with Yad Vashem. We are working together with the Jewish Agency, with Keren Hayesod. We have excellent contacts to the Israeli Knesset. We are working very closely together with the Foreign Ministry and with the Prime Minister's office in Israel. So God really gave blessing and grace to this work in the last years. We have official registered branches in more than 70 nations. However, our reach goes to more than 140 nations around the world. And in some of the nations, our directors are denominational leaders, which are representing, even in their individual nations, millions of Christians and believers who want to support Israel. So all over the world, we do represent hundreds of millions of Christians which do love Israel and support the State of Israel.
You know, the prophet Zechariah says in the chapter 14 that there will be a time when all the nations shall gather to Jerusalem to worship the King. And we are looking already into that future, and we are anticipating that time that it shall come. So we are already, even though the time has not yet arrived, we are already expressing that time. We are already showing that this time will come by inviting nations to come to Israel. So the Feast of Tabernacles is during the Jewish festive of the Feast of Tabernacles, but it's a Christian Feast of Tabernacles. It's the largest single tourist event every year in Israel that gathers people from 70, 80 different nations. Thousands of people come together, and it gives us a beautiful possibility to speak with one voice to the nation of Israel. It's very important for us because of the of the possibility and opportunity to show the love from the nations, from the Gentile nations to Israel, which is our mandate from the Lord. So we strongly and very powerfully invite people to come to the Feast of Tabernacles to show the Christian love in this way to the nation of Israel.
We are exclusively supported by donations from Christians around the world. It's either business people, churches, individual donors which are supporting us and which want to support Israel in a very practical way. I stopped counting. We met with quite a number of prime ministers which came to the Feast of Tabernacles. We had, over the last 30 years, almost every single prime minister attending our Feast of Tabernacles. We had many cabinet ministers coming to the feast. Only last year we had Julie Edelstein, which is today the Speaker of the Knesset. We had Mr. Uzi Landau, who is the Minister of Tourism. We had, I think, 3 or 4 members of Knesset coming to the Feast of Tabernacles. We are meeting with the heads of Keren Hayasot, Mr. Moody Sandberg. We have very close contacts to the leadership of Yad Vashem, and we are very well connected. Well, the history between Christians and Jews is a very tragic and a very sad one, because the Christian church for many centuries was the arch enemy of the Jewish people. They persecuted the Jewish people, as a matter of fact, far more than the Islamic community did in their respective countries. And so in the light of that, and in the light of the Inquisition, in the light of the Holocaust and the different pogroms all over Eastern Europe, it's even more amazing to see that today there is a strategic partnership being formed between evangelical Christians and the State of Israel. Again?
Why your visit to Mexico?
We both attended a conference for 2,000 pastors here, where we could share about Israel and our vision in this land. And today we had the great honor to participate in the March of Glory and to share also there and mobilize the people to support Israel. I believe it's important to see that it's a new day in Jewish-Christian relations. It's Shimon Peres said 2 years ago at the New Year reception for Christian leaders in Jerusalem. He said the relations between Jews and Christians in our time is as good as it never was in the history of the Jewish people. And I believe that's something what also is very visible here in Mexico. When we marched today through the street, we were deeply impressed to see the amount of Israeli flags. It was actually the majority of the flags which you could see were Israeli flags. And it shows the Jewish people in Mexico that the Christians are very supportive. They are standing at the side of Israel. They are standing on the side of the Jewish community. And they are indeed the strategic partners for the future.
That we have very much common ground as Christians and Jews. We believe in the same God, we believe in the same Bible, and we both believe that the Messiah will come.